The new Fuji X-T30 Mark III versus the X-S20. Let's talk about it. The X-T30 Mark III is a great entry-level photography-focused camera by Fuji that offers amazing specs in a price point that is pretty accessible. But one step up from the X-T30 Mark III is the X-S20. So is it worth the jump of almost $500? Let's find out. Now, to get it out of the way, they have the same 26.1 megapixel X-Trans4 sensor with the X Processor 5. They also have the exact same viewfinder, which is amazing. The first difference is going to be the screen. On the X-S20 you have a fully articulating LCD, very similar to my XM5, which I use the screen all the time, whereas the new X-T30 Mark III only has the single angle tilt screen. I don't know why they did that, to be honest. I think they should all have the fully articulating screen, but they had to cut back somewhere, so on the X-T30 Mark III, it's only the single angle versus the X-S20 has the fully articulating screen. Then the biggest difference in what you're paying basically almost all of that $500 jump for is that the X-S20 has in-body image stabilization up to 7 stops, which is amazing, obviously, for both photo and video, whereas the X-T30 Mark III does not have any IBIS at all. Now, obviously, I understand the value with having IBIS in the camera, but to be honest, with my XM5, it also doesn't have IBIS, and I don't really notice it that much for both video and photo, or the lack of it, I don't really notice. So I don't actually think that this is a massive selling point. If I was doing video more professionally or more seriously, then I would definitely consider IBIS to be a bigger feature in the camera. But for content creation, everyday stuff that's definitely locked off like this, IBIS is not really that big of a deal. And for photo, unless you're shooting very professional photos like sports or wildlife, where IBIS can really come into play to make sure you get the shot sharp and obviously stabilized, then again, I would care more about IBIS, but as a beginner entry-level camera, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And then for video, there's actually not much to say. They both have the exact same video specs. They both shoot 6.2K at 30 FPS, 4K at 60, 1080 at 240. They both shoot 422 10-bit in f-log2. And the only minor difference here is that the X-S20 can shoot in a slightly higher bitrate at 360 megabits per second versus the X-T30 Mark III maxing out at 200 megabits per second. Again, if you care about photography way more, this is not that big of a deal, but if you do care about video, then this is a detail that you might want to consider. Then the last difference, which is a considerable one, is that the X-S20 does have a larger battery life versus the X-T30 Mark III, so if you do care about having that extra battery life in the camera, then the X-S20 might be worth that jump. Honestly, for everyday use, especially while traveling, I have no issue with my battery in the XM5, which is the same as the new X-T30 Mark III, so I really don't care that much about the battery life jump in the X-S20, but if you are using it for more serious shoots, then the battery life is definitely something to consider. So is the X-S20 worth the